Hey there, guys. This one voice actor here, and today I'm going to read two scary ghost stories that were found on Reddit. Hope you guys enjoy. Okay, so I've got a lot of these. As I've stated in previous posts, I'm a sensitive, which in layman's terms simply means that I can't always see ghosts, but I can sense them and pick up on their emotions. This is a story about seeing and feeling them. I was about 17, and I'd gotten my first job at McDonald's. I was super excited to earn my own money and start learning how to be responsible, budget my own money. Homecoming was coming up, and prom soon after, and I wanted to pay for my own dress, shoes, hair, limo, by myself. My parents were proud of me, and so was I. Anyways, on the weekend, I would always close the store with my manager. Usually, it's just the manager that closes, but I was in the process of being promoted to manager, so naturally, I had to stay to learn how to close down the store, count the money from the registers, turn off the machines and things like that. After about 2 weeks of watching my manager close, I learned everything I needed to do, and eventually I was closing the store by myself. I closed about 4 or 5 times before the first paranormal thing happened. It was about 12:30ish when I was finally done and ready to lock up the store. My dad was sitting in the parking lot waiting for me to come out. I see him and I wave at him. He waves back. I exit the restaurant and I lock the door. And as I turn to walk to my dad, I hear this loud bang from behind me. I turn around and there's nothing there. It sounded like someone threw something at the door after I locked it, but maybe there was nothing there. So thinking it was just my imagination, maybe I'm tired as hell, I walk to my dad's car and get in. I put my purse on the floor of the car, and as I look up, I see this person in all black moving in fast motion inside of the restaurant. At this point, I'm freaking out because I was just in the restaurant. All kinds of things start racing through my head about what just happened. I ask my dad if he sees what I see, and he says, "Yes, call the police." Back then, there were car phones, and I yank up the receiver and dial 911. They come within 4 to 5 minutes. Whatever it is, I thought was a person robbing the store, is still up there until the police gets there, and once they shine the light into the store, the thing literally disappears. The cop searches the restaurant and nothing. They call me into the store to review security footage. At this point, the owner of the restaurant, independently owned, was coming in. I'm assuming my dad called him and told him about what happened. We are all reviewing the tapes when the lights go out. Mind you, whatever it was that me and my dad saw was not caught on tape. Just as fast as the lights went out, they jumped right back on. And now we are looking at the blue screen that says, "No visual available." We could still, however, hear sounds from the audio. We hear things like, "No," and "Leave me alone." We all kind of side-eye one another, but nobody says anything. The police are probably thinking this is a prank. Fast forward 30-45 minutes later, the owner and the police are walking out of the restaurant, and he instructs me to lock up. I'm the last person out, once again, because I have to turn the lights off, and the security TV as I reach the door and open it to leave. I felt the iciest, coldest, roughest hand I've ever felt in my entire life clutch my shoulder and a voice whisper, "No." Needless to say, I screamed and ran my ass off to my dad's car, dropping the keys in the process. The police watch me scream and run and don't say a word. Once inside my dad's car, he hugs me and tries to control me. I refuse to look in the windows of the restaurant. I'm afraid of what I might see next. Fast forward about 10 minutes. We are at home. My dad and my mom in the kitchen talking about what happened. My mom and my dad are also sensitives, but my mom is more sensitive than we are because she always sees them. My dad and I see them sometimes, but my mom all the time. At this point, I am exhausted, and my mom and dad told me I can sleep in Sunday morning because of what I had been through. Sunday morning, I awake around 10 a.m. My parents are at Mass, so I'm alone in my house. I go down into the kitchen to have breakfast and watch some TV. My mom cooked breakfast, but didn't wake me up, so she left me some in the microwave. Just heat and eat. I go into the living room and sit down, grab the remote, and when I look into the TV as I'm getting ready to turn it on, I see a tail. Fairly thin, black figure standing right behind me. I freeze, and I'm trying to breathe, but I can't help but feel like whatever we encountered last night had followed me to my house. I close my eyes and open them, hoping that I'm dreaming, or whatever it is will just go away. No luck. Before I can let out a scream, I feel that same icy hand on my shoulder, but this time it's holding me down to the point where I can't move. It's saying, "My soul." And this time, the voice is loud and getting louder and louder. It sounded like a demonic voice, like multiple voices in one. Then I start to get overwhelmed with a sense of evil, like pure hatred running through me. It's weird, but with this hand on me, I felt like I wanted to harm the first person that walked through the door. Then, whatever this thing was shifted into a black most and started to go through me. I could look down and see it going right through me. As it's doing so, the light from the morning starts to fade as it's becoming night. Everything was in slow motion. All I remember after that is letting out a scream and seeing my mom and dad run into the house. My mom, holding a rosary bead necklace in her hand, says something that I can't make out. My dad said, "In Jesus' name." That's it. I woke up an hour later, and my parents were crying and hugging me. They explained to me that they believe a demon or something was trying to possess me, and they left church early because my mom had a vision of this and knew they had to come to save me. To this day, I'm 32 now, I always keep rosaries with me. I always hear noises and voices in the night. I always get the sense that something is still there watching me, still wanting to possess me, but can't because it's not strong enough. I'm old enough now where I can keep these things at bay. My husband knows and believes in what I can do, what I see, what I hear. I'm glad that whatever this thing was cannot touch me now. My cousin used to live in an apartment where the bathroom door was right next to the closet. I used to hate having to walk by the closet because it always opened and I would always feel uncomfortable. Every time I passed, I would feel as if there was someone standing still inside, just watching me. The feeling would be so bad that every time I had to go to the bathroom, I would run in and out just to avoid the closet. After a while, she started to feel uncomfortable in the apartment as well, but I never told her how I felt about it. A few months later, they moved out of the apartment for other reasons. As she was walking around the building, a neighbor asked her where she lived. She told her the apartment, and the neighbor's response was, "Oh, you lived in the apartment where the guy hung himself in the closet." When she told me this, she confirmed that there was indeed something strange in the closet. I have experienced similar situations after that, but no one has ever confirmed that someone did indeed die in the place. I am glad I never have to visit that freaky apartment again.